What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Dude Ranch DIY. My name is Jake. We are out here on the Woodyard Road. As you can see, I just hooked up the SureTrack dump trailer to the pickup truck. It is Friday, and we have a firewood delivery to kick off the weekend. Now, you guys will probably be seeing this video on Sunday, but let me flip you around and show you what we got going on. So this is the tote that we are going to be delivering. It looks like mostly beech and birch, and it was split back in October of 2023. So by now this stuff should be good and dry. It's actually kind of a funny story. A random number texted me last night just saying, "Hi, can you deliver firewood to this address?" And normally, you know, somebody will say who referred them or whatnot. But this person was right down to business, said, you know, how much they wanted. I sent them a couple pictures of the totes, the different options, and they said they would take one tote, and could I deliver tomorrow? And I said, yeah, absolutely. They said they left the money under, you know, in an envelope underneath their front mat. So I'm gonna go deliver the wood to this mystery customer. I also just finished filling up the firewood stand. I was completely out of loose stacks. Let me know if you guys have firewood stands in the comments. Does business start picking up this time of year going into spring, or does it start slowing down? Here in my area, we don't have much camping or campgrounds or anything like that. So my big season is the winter time, the fall and winter, early spring. So typically in the summer, my firewood stand sales kind of dwindle, not dwindle, but they definitely decrease. I'm hoping, though, that the fact that I've been selling a lot more bundles in recent months, that will carry over into the summer with people that hopefully have fire pits and solo stoves and stuff like that, you know, burning campfires through the warmer summer months. So, as you can see, that is how I dump my firewood. If you're new to the channel, I've found that that's the easiest way to dump these IBC totes without the rotating pallet forks. I have tried the rotating pallet forks on this tractor. The problem is they're just so heavy and expensive that I can't really justify using them when I have a perfectly good way of dumping the totes as is with the pallet forks that I have. All right, we're gonna go get this wood delivered and then hopefully get back and have some time to split some wood ourselves. I was just looking over the trailer before we take off, and I noticed this leaf thing, and I don't know if you can see in there, but there are like four like eggs. There, let's see. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm not gonna touch it, because I know if I touch the nest, then you know, the bird probably won't come back. Hopefully the nest makes it. It looks like it's tucked pretty good in there. Thanks. Appreciate it. All right, you too. All right, we got that delivered, no problem. The guy shed a little light on who he was. As soon as I pulled up, he said, yeah, I bought wood from you the other week. You gave me your number. I said I would be interested in more. So I guess he bought some wood from the firewood stand a couple weeks ago, and I gave him my number, and he followed through. he wanted more. He liked it. So as you can see, it's pretty close fit here. I dropped the grizzly bars down so I can get the trailer closer, then I'll lift those up and the wood should be able to make it into the trailer all right. The fact that this oak board, sideboard is bowing as much as it is, doesn't really help. These boards are pretty old. Probably have to get some new ones milled up here in the near future, but for now, we'll try and run with it. Basically what we're gonna do here, and I don't know how much time we're gonna have this evening because it's about to get dark in like an hour or so, but we have all of this beach that we chunked up with the Baumalight and the Eastonmade MS-324 mini skid steer splitter. It was all out here in the middle. That's the limb wood that came from the tree. That is some of the maple that came in that third load. That's all junk, real hollow, nasty, gnarly stuff. I'll give to my buddy with the boiler. So we got that all cleaned up yesterday off camera, but now I have 2 orders for green firewood. One is for 1 cord and the second is for 2 full cords of green unseasoned firewood for next year. So all of this wood here should be great for that. This beach was alive. It was very wet and juicy as I was chunking it up, you know, into smaller pieces. So the plan is here to just convey it straight into the dump trailer and take it to the final, you know, resting place, i.e. the customer. From here, we'll just back up the trailer to keep filling it up.
Here we split for a little over a half an hour, and I'll show you what we got to show for it. I'd say we're about halfway there. As you can see, it is heaped up, you know, basically to the top of the sideboards over there and to the top of the black over there. This is a 7x14 trailer with these 2-foot sides. It's about, you know, 2-foot additional sides. It's 4-foot. So we really only need to fill it. I've done the calculations, and for a full cord, you can have it up to the black. And then, you know, I like to heap it up in the middle just a little bit, or in this case, over to one side, just to make sure that you have, you know, plenty of wood in there. But for a little over a half an hour, that is not bad, especially by myself. You know, you can see we haven't even really gotten into the beach yet. We were kind of going through some of this older stuff here, some old ash and maple and stuff, and this stuff, a little bit of it is punky, especially on the outside, like you can see that piece. And that punk, from my experience, just kind of like falls off using the box wedge. You can see, you know, all this stuff that comes off the conveyor, and then, you know, all this scrap that comes off on the bottom of the Eastonmade. You know, the box wedge definitely isn't the cleanest wedge option out there, but it certainly is the least, you know, laborious, I guess, or labor intensive box or splitting wedge out there. However, it does create quite a bit of mess, as does all of this processing that we have been doing here lately. This whole area needs a really good clean out once we get all this stuff out of here. So guys, I'm probably going to back the truck and trailer up a little bit and then disconnect. It's actually Sarah's birthday weekend. Her birthday is next Tuesday. So if you want to, throw her a happy birthday comment down in the comments section. But unbeknownst to her, I gotta go pick up a cake for her little birthday brunch that we're doing tomorrow. Her favorite cake is chocolate Carvel ice cream cake. So gotta go pick that up. We will pick back up here probably tomorrow morning and hopefully get the rest of this cord of green firewood split and ready for delivery.
Okay guys, we are out here again the next morning. As you saw, I just did a little bit of housekeeping. Things were getting pretty dirty, unkept to my standards. You know, I like to keep the wood yard really clean. I do have a bit of OCD, and when, you know, I see all the scrap and everything, especially in this area where we burn a lot of the scrap, totally understandable that it's there, it falls out, you know, whatever. But I like seeing nice, you know, clean, for the most part, black asphalt millings. So just got to go through, rake up all the, you know, leaves that blow in occasionally, because after all, we are surrounded by woods out here in the wood yard. So we got a fire going, burning up a bunch of scrap. That was overdue. The as I mentioned yesterday, right before I left or stopped filming, the box wedge makes a bunch of scrap. So if you're in the market for one of these things, you need to, you know, be prepared to have to deal with all of that scrap. One, in filtering it out from your firewood, and two, what you're gonna do with it when you filter it out from your firewood. If you're gonna haul it away, burn it like I do, you know, it also greatly depends on just the amount of firewood that you're producing is directly correlated to the amount of scrap you're going to produce. So keep that in mind. But we are going to fire up the Eastonmade 2228 over here and get going, and hopefully finish up the rest of this cord of Greenwood. We'll let that warm up. We got to push this pile closer to the splitter. I'm working harder than I have to. Okay, so I'd say we are there. Once I knock down this pile, we'll get a better look at the trailer. But you know, this is definitely a cord of wood. Absolutely no doubt about it. Now, as I said, I am selling this wood green, as in unseasoned, totally unseasoned, fresh. This tree was standing about 2 weeks ago, alive, at least the beech was. And you know, the reason I am doing the green is because I only have so much space. Totes, getting totes for me, thank God, it really isn't that big of a deal. I can get as many totes basically as I want for free. But space is a, you know, valuable commodity. And the space that I have here in the wood yard, you know, I want as much of it to be taken up with seasoned firewood as possible, because then that means that I have a ton of seasoned firewood inventory for when the fall and winter rush come along. But if I could get more customers to buy wood green 2 seasons before for the following burning season, it does 2 things for me, and they're pretty obvious. A lot of you guys know this. It's going to save me space because I don't have to store it, and I don't have to futz around with putting it in the totes. I can just fill up the dump trailer and go. So that's great. It's pretty fast. I mean, you saw I did all of this by myself. In realistically, the splitter was running for 2.3 hours, but I let the splitter warm up for at least 15 minutes each time. So that's, you know, being conservative, a half an hour right there. And then I'm flying the drone. I'm getting in the excavator. I'm pushing the rounds forward. I'm feeding the fire. I'm coming to knock down, you know, the pile coming off the grizzly bar. So all of that time needs to be accounted for and, you know, subtracted from that 2.3 hours. And trust me, if you guys have ever tried filming yourself doing firewood, especially by yourself, there is a lot of time spent in moving the cameras around to get the quality video that I want to produce for you guys and that I think my viewers have been accustomed to. So that 2.3 hours really isn't an accurate reflection. I would say more realistically, we have about an hour and a half to an hour and 45 minutes in splitting this, maybe even less, because it does take time, you know, to come over to the pile and drop it down. I'm not shutting off the splitter every time I do that. So some things to consider. Green firewood is definitely an awesome option, you know, to try and get your clientele onto the bandwagon, so to speak, because it just saves everybody time, effort, and it saves your customers money. You know, I charge significantly less for green firewood just because I want to promote it. I can split it quick and get it out and deliver it and get paid ahead of season. And it offers a little bit more of a cash flow during your slow season. The summer is a slow season for me. I'm not selling as much firewood, but I could still have some money trickling in, you know, to pay the fuel for all the equipment and stuff like that. Another thing I want to mention is that you'll notice I was kind of splitting the pieces a bit larger than I normally do. Like normally if I was putting this into the totes, I would split this piece again in half. But these people that are ordering this green wood, they have fireplace inserts, they're burning for heat, and they have enough time to let this stuff sit in season all summer and the beginning of the fall before they start burning it. And they want the larger pieces, you know, not necessarily that piece, but larger pieces like this. They burn hotter and longer. I have already basically cleaned up everything underneath the Eastonmade. This IBC tote of scrap was empty before we started. It's about half full, I'd say, if I were to knock that pile down. It's about half full of scrap, and we produced this amount of scrap underneath the splitter and that amount of chaff and stuff off the conveyor to split that amount of wood that filled up the dump trailer there. Now, I would definitely venture to say that that is more than a cord of wood, and this customer is getting one hell of a deal. Well, all right, guys, I think that's going to about wrap this one up. I hope you enjoyed. This is kind of my first foray into selling green firewood. I've done it a couple times before, but I am really trying to push it this year just to be able to conserve space. Now that we have this Eastonmade 2228, it's such a productive machine that you know, I'm running into the issue of running out of space. I'm gonna have to start stacking totes or figuring something out, making the wood yard bigger, which I would love to do anyway. So we will, you know, continue with this endeavor moving forward. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to get the delivery of this in this video because the gentleman doesn't want it. I thought he wanted it tomorrow. He actually wants it in a couple days. So I'm going to get this video out to you guys, but when the time does come to dump that, I certainly will film it. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Again, Sarah's birthday's coming up. That's why I got to head inside, get cleaned up. We're going out for a little birthday celebration with some of her friends. So as always, guys, if you like the video, give it a big thumbs up. If you haven't done so already, consider clicking that subscribe button down below. I'd really appreciate it. We've gotten a ton of new subscribers lately from the Excavator, and getting a couple shout outs over on Hometown Acres, Adam's channel. So I really appreciate you guys swinging by. Questions, comments, feedback, throw it down in that comments section. But for now, I'm Jake. This is Dude Ranch DIY. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you here next time.